A lot has been said about restructuring. In fact, it's becoming more like the beautiful bride, if you know what I mean, in politics of Nigeria today as we go into 2019 general election, particularly the presidential election. The southwest of Nigeria and some other partners from across the nation are talking about restructuring as the bedrock of the new Nigeria. They claim that that's what they want. The Afenifere, the Pandeb, the Northern People's Forum, and the rest of them are saying restructuring of Nigeria is what will take Nigeria out of the dead wood that it's found itself. And that's why on the GA Factor today, I'll be sitting down with one man, the spokesperson of Afenifere, Mr. Yinka Odumaki, who gave us very explosive interview, and it says that it will be very impossible for President Muhammadu Buhari to win the next year's election if the election were free, fair, and credible. Well, let's just sit back and watch the GA Factor as my guest, Yinka Odumaki, says everything that he has for us on the show this week. This coming general election, you've been very vociferous, the Afenifere, saying that President Muhammadu Buhari won't come back in 2019 and he shouldn't come back in 2019. Why are you against his candidacy?
Well, in 2007, General Muhammadu Buhari was the official candidate of Afenifere. Then he was running on NPP and he agreed to restructure Nigeria. That was the basis of which Afenifere backed him. Personally, I was the spokesman in 2011 elections when he ran with Pastor Sunday Bakari on the basis of an agenda to restructure Nigeria. In 2015, the APC put a restructuring in its manifesto. But after winning elections, they forgot all about that. They started saying that when they talk to 200 million Nigerians, they are getting 200 million definitions of restructuring. We continued the agitation until they set up the Fire panel, which ran the country, and came close to the conclusion we reached at 2014 conference, which President Buhari said must be in the archives. That if you gather us, is not bothered to read it because the money that was used for that conference should have been used to pay us who are on strike or another kind of thing. Now, in 3 years, we have seen what Nigeria become. When President Buhari became president of Nigeria, elect in 2015, Mark Selling, an authoritative historian of Nigeria, did write in the New York Times to say that he looked at the map of Nigerian elections and said that Nigeria at this stage needs a reconstructive surgeon, not a bulldozer. Reconstructive surgery for Nigeria requires restructuring this country. We know that this country is not working. The unitary constitution has failed. Nigeria today, we are more divided than we were when we were migrated in 1914. But in the last 3 years of President Buhari, we have seen a president who, instead of being a unifier, has been a divider. The cheapest commodity in Nigeria today is human blood. In fact, pure water today is more expensive than human blood in our country. And you can see, and recently, Ben was telling us that rule of law should be supported to national interest. National interest as defined by him and those around him.
I mean, they went on to explain that, and they hinged that on the Supreme Court judgments, you know, about the security of the nation superseding somebody's fundamental rights in some ways.
What's the security of the nation that they are protecting today now? Because we have grouse with Asuki since 1984. That's national interest. Is that what the Supreme Court was talking about? Ezaki, I mean, courts are giving orders. You are shunning them with impunity. Okay. What are you talking about? Somebody went, a relation of Abakari went on a radio program to give lurid details of corruption against the chief of staff. Even EFCC had to admit that we are investigating these allegations. What do we see? Garba Sheikh came out, smoking. It's nonsense. No such thing happened. You couldn't have done this, you couldn't have that. Abakari will sue them. So, which EFCC now will now go and investigate Abakari again now after the president has spoken?
So I mean, are you talking of rule of law? Does it mean mean that the cabal is real, that the Abakiaris of this world are untouchable? Are you insinuating that they are actually in full grips of what is going on in Nigeria, and their president Muhammadu Buhari has lost the grips of Nigeria?
Did you not hear the day when the former secretary to government, the grass cutter, said who's president? We have been moved by the presidency. He said who's presidency? And whose presidency? I think it happened to me today. I ran to him at the airport the other day, and he was joking. I was talking. I was saying, you are criticizing my president. I will kill you. I will kill you. A man that should be answering charges, bouncing around the place, is one of the godfathers in Adamawa now as we are talking. So, under President Buhari, this country has gone completely under. Rule of law is in abeyance. Human life has become so cheap. The economics in doldrums. You saw the HSBC say a few days ago that President Buhari coming back in 2019 is bad news for business in Nigeria and development.
I was going to come to that. I was going to come to the issue of the HSBC report and some other reports that on the economy. Well, be that as it may, what do you make of his fight on corruption? I know that a lot of people have been picking holes here and there. For example, the former secretary to the government of the federation, that the man is roaming the streets. He's one of the godfathers in Adamawa. Adamawa politics right now, and nothing has been done to the grass cutting that he spent hundreds of millions of Nigerian taxpayers' money on. Now, are you saying that President Buhari hasn't done anything to check fleece corruption in Nigeria?
Well, when the president first came, there was so much fear in the land that the sheriff is in town. Oh, people are so afraid about corruption, but within a short time, people began to see the gaps. That the whole thing is much more of propaganda than the question of fighting corruption. To the extent to which the fight against corruption has been one-sided, to the extent that corrupt people are now finding shit under the president Agbada. I mean, look at the latest to China. About 5-6 people are standing corruption trials who are on that trip with him.
Okay, yeah, we saw that,
and we saw EFCC saying that Akpabio is still under investigation. So who will go and investigate somebody who has just gone to China and come back? Which investigation are going to do?
With the president.
Then president. Nobody will do such a thing. You have seen today. I mean, the case of Maina is there. Recently, I saw Maina's posters. They want to be governor in Borno State. You saw the man that was sacked in the. No.
The NSN man?
Yes, that's the health minister sacked while he was away.
Okay.
The president came back, he recalled him.
The NHIS?
NHIS man. The president came back and recalled him. Right? Now, look at the case of Dara. Since the president came back, he has not said anything on that incident. What happened? The invasion of the assembly. The third I'm going.
Perhaps because the vice president had taken the right action.
No,
don't you want to give that?
Any president that believes in sanctity of the rule of law, separation of powers, such a thing will happen. Yes, this happened while I was away. My president, my vice who was acting, took the right decision. I support it. Nothing has happened. Where's Dara today? Dara is in his house.
We're also hearing that he
may be recalled. Now, look at what happened again. I mean, few days after, some policemen went to the EK class house, ransacked the whole place, searched the place, they are looking for arms. The IGN said, no, we don't know about it. And there's become a pattern. Look at when they went to take the maize in the assembly. They went the coup failed. They went to drop the maize under some bridge in Abuja. Police said they found the maize. Today, that was the end of it. Nobody is supposed to be here for that. Invasion of National Assembly. They made the four guy. Nothing has happened. EK class has now. They just dismiss them.
But don't you want to give it to them? I mean, they dismiss the police officers.
Which is?
I mean,
So are we fools? So some policemen will just go at checkpoints and so tell them, I've seen some people there, and then they will rush there and go inside the home of the person like clerk. A police commissioner will not approve what happened there. That decision came from the IG's office. But the moment they didn't fail, they found nothing. they now quickly meet some 4 guys. Oh, we have dismissed a guy. Is that how a country operates? This country has become a jungle under this administration. And we cannot continue this way.
Are these reasons why Afenifere is endorsing Alhaji Atiku Abubakar?
We have not endorsed anybody.
But he went to Senator Adebanjo's house and the man openly stated that they're throwing their back in their support.
He never said such a thing. He never says such a thing. And he could not have said so. Because Adebanjo is not a small boy in Afenifere. It's an important elder in Afenifere. Yes, but I'm coming. He's been Afenifere for over 60 years. He knows the tradition. I mean, he knows that Atiku paid him a private visit in his house where some other elders were present. That could not have been a meeting of Afenifere as a full body.
Okay.
So to take such a decision, it has to be Afenifere's full meeting for the purpose. And Afenifere at present, we're in talks with our partners across Nigeria in the Nigerian Leaders and Leaders Forum. And we're going to take a joint decision. So how can we jump the gun? So he never did say that we have lost.
Saying to me,
all he said was to say, well, Atiku has been strong on the structuring, which is a fact.
Okay.
But that was not translated into endorsement. Because in any case, how can any serious group endorse an aspirant? We can only endorse candidates. It's when the parties already have their candidates. They will now look at whose agenda tallies to our interest. Then we can still endorse the candidates. But it's prosperous to say that we are endorsing an aspirant.
I want to thank you very much, sir, for granting us this interview.
Yes.
I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.